I set a goal for the staff that if we got 58%, so I said a 12% increase of year supply sales, everyone in the office gets glasses. They finished at 58.8%, so everyone got glasses, but we increased our year supply sales because we managed it. All right, my friends, the Ultimate OD Podcast, great episode for you today. We're talking about the scorecard. The scorecard, as I will explain, is a sheet of paper, 1 page or less, that gives your staff metrics that they have a hand in. These metrics will move your bottom line. Pick the right metrics, pick the right incentives, and you will have the best months you've ever had. Let me share my experience. Let me tell you how to do this for your practice. This is the Ultimate OD Podcast. Here we go. All right, my friends, the Ultimate OD Podcast. Thank you for tuning in, listening. I appreciate you guys, gals, everyone out there. Last week was a crazy week. So we have an office rule where the max days you can take off is 6 consecutive work days, right? And again, we're not a huge office, so makes sense. We made an exception for a staff member. Horrible idea. We'll not do that again. But she was off for 8 consecutive days, and I swear the Ebola virus ripped through the office. Every single one of my staff members was sick, and half of them for multiple days. One of them was for a whole week. It just ripped through. I got a little sick on Friday. It was a 2-week period. On the Friday, I was running a fever and was sick, and I didn't go into the office. If I had patients, I definitely would have went in and saw the patients, right? I was able to get through the week. But my house, every single one of my kids got sick. And this is a month after we all got strep throat, where if you have kids, the thing that you know is that they don't get sick together. They get sick, you wait about a week, and then the next one gets sick. Well, if you have 4 kids, that lasts a long stinking time. And they'd have fevers that lasted about a week. I had one staff member that got pneumonia, a couple got colds, and we were short-staffed all week. Had a good month of February, but man, it was good to see that my staff has improved to the extent that we can help each other out, we can cover. I asked my office manager, like, how do you think we did? She's like, we survived. How do you think we did it? She's like, people stepped up. And that's what happens when you have a good staff, right? We had to cut bait with about 3 people, and it was a little rough. He kept wondering, like, what is going on here? But this is why you do that. When you are short-staffed, you want to have people that step up to the plate and make the business run. So I was really happy to see that. We've had a great start to the year. We've had our best 2 months, I think, ever, and it feels like we're slow. Part of that is because we have 2 doctors, 2 mouths to feed. So we're busier than we've ever been, but it's less busy for me individually and the other doctor less busy. But we've made a lot of strategic moves since she started in October to make the office better. This week, we're going to talk about something I like to call the scorecard. Okay? When you're running your business, you have metrics, you have benchmarks that you track. We all do. Some of them are like what your cost of goods percentage is to your gross sales, what your doctor revenue percentage is to your gross sales. Like, these metrics matter, they move the needle. Your staff does not impact any of those, right? Unless they're not coming in, they're not going to have an impact on that. What I'm talking about in this scorecard, these metrics are things that your staff has a hand in. And this goes back a lot to our opticians, but if done right, your whole office is part of this ecosystem. And what I did was found the metrics that I felt my staff had the most impact on. We started tracking them for the course of 3 months. I wanted to get 3 months worth of data, so I didn't set an arbitrary number. So we tracked the numbers, found out where we were falling, and then I incentivized them. And what did we do? We broke records. We had the best months we've ever had as an office. We killed our initial metrics, and we got better as an office. I know you want to get better as an office, so let me explain what I did. I'll try to give details, but honestly, it's finding metrics that matter to you, communicating these metrics on a weekly basis to your staff, and giving them some kind of incentive, some kind of bonus on a monthly basis. Those are the things that I've incorporated into my scorecard and how I saw my practice grow tremendously the past 2 months. So let's get into that. And one of the things that I took from my last P3 meeting were the things that move the needle in terms of your practice. And those things are exam only appointments, pre-appointing, frame capture rate, lens capture rate, and then your fill rate. You want to have that be high, obviously. Also, we started tracking our gear supply contact lens sales. When we started this, I've done it for about 3 months, and there's things like Edge Pro, a lot of different things you can use to track these things. They're not as accurate. We are honestly tracking on a very consistent thing. Like, we have a spreadsheet that we put in with the patient outcomes, what they do, and then my virtual assistants will go and they'll calculate at the end of the week. They'll calculate at the end of the month. And I wanted to bonus the staff for this, incentivize them, but I wanted to get data, see where we're at, and then where we can go. So when we started off the first month, I think it was November, our exam only rate was 39%. Pre-appointment rate was 49%. We were only pre-appointing 49%. Frame was about 40%. Lens was 45%. And then contact lens sales, the year supply was around 40 to 45%. Okay. We've tracked this, and one of the big things that you do is you measure what you want to manage and you manage what you measure. Okay. Well, end of February, our exam only rate in January was 23%. It was 32% in February. So think about that. We were at 39%. We dropped that. We almost cut that in half in January. And we dropped it a good 8%, 7% in February. Exam only to me is if they come in and they don't get contacts, glasses, or lenses. Now, even if they get them the next day, the way we calculate is they have to get it that day. Or even if they get contact lens evaluation, and then a week later they actually order the contacts, that's an exam only because they didn't purchase the day of. We want to incentivize sales day of. And again, we've tracked it and we really made an improvement. When you go to pre-appointing, this is the biggest area of improvement. We were at 49%, I told you. In January, we're at 75%, and February, 78%. 78%. That is a 30% increase. And your bloodlines of your practice, which I've been told, again, I didn't believe this at first, is having that full schedule. So we now are marketing like crazy, trying to get people into the office, and then we want to keep them, right? If you get them in and keep them coming back, that's how you build a business. So we're at 80% almost. That's awesome. We've had a couple rough months, or we had a bad February. We're at 43% and 32% for frame, 49% in January, and 39% in February. So a little worse on frames in terms of February. But again, we're up from where we were. Even a 5% increase is going to increase your bottom line. Okay? The biggest thing that I saw was when it came to the year supply sales. I think a couple of months, the other associate was around 30%, 35%. Not great. I was around 60 to 45%. I looked at what my average, year supply rate was all of 2024 before the associate started. It was around 46%. And again, I didn't think anything of it. I wasn't tracking it. If we sold a year supply, we sold a year supply. I set a goal for the staff that if we got 58%, so I said a 12% increase of year supply sales, everyone in the office gets glasses. And I kid you not, they were for most of the month around 68%. They finished at 58.8%, so everyone got glasses. but we increased our year supply sales because we managed it. So one of the things I want to put out there that I think is valuable from this episode is, what metrics matter for you? Now, for a metric to matter, it has to move the bottom line in some way, shape, or form, right? In my mind, it has to give you more revenue, a better patient experience, something better for the business. In addition, if you collect the data and you don't do anything about it, it's not a good metric, okay? You have to collect data that you will actually get information and do something about. These are the ones that I found to be the most useful, and these are the things that I'm incentivizing in my office. And I kind of set it as there's the things that I really want to get done, I put a bigger bonus on. I gave them a $50 bonus, everyone in the office, if we got 58% of year supplies. Now, I told them that if we do, whatever we do, these numbers, these percentages are dynamic. Just because it's this in February does not mean it's going to be this in March. And again, we hit the goal of our big end goal for contact lens year supply sales. I went from 58%, now it's 65%, right? We want to be at 65%. If we hit that, again, everyone with glasses, they'll get a $50 bonus. They get a $10 bonus, everyone for 60%, and a $5 bonus for 55%. So I've kind of incentivized the things that matter to me, and it's working, right? It's a moving target that they get on a monthly basis. And what we do to make this have value is we get a weekly update. So every Monday when they come into the office, they're looking at the scorecard. And the thing that I've noticed is, because we have that scorecard, they're looking at it. They're talking about it. It's a conversation of the optical, of the front desk. Hey, where are we at? Do we sell a lot of year supplies? It's awesome to see it working, right? I've talked to a lot of you. We've brainstormed together. Well, how do you incentivize your staff? This is the best, most tangible results I've ever got. So I wanted to share that with you. I like having the different percentages. They're gonna hit, if we just do our jobs, we're gonna hit the lowest tier. And then I do a 5% and another 5%. So where we're supposed to be at is the metric, and they'll get like $5, $10, depending on what it is. I incentivize frames more than I incentivize lenses. Reason for, if we're selling a frame, we're selling lenses, right? So let's try to get more frame sales. One of the other things I tried to incentivize for the optical staff was the average frame sale and second pair sales. And that was optical only. There's a few things that were only optical only, and those were the two. And we were at like 5 to 7% for second pair sales. I said, if we get 12%, everyone gets, you guys will get a pair of glasses. And they were at 11.7%. They didn't hit it, but they were almost double where we've been. The average frame sale, I wanted it to be around $131. The highest I've ever seen them was $125. I wanted to make it attainable, but I wanted to shoot for more. They finished at $129, right? Again, that's every sale of a frame, meaning even if they're using insurance, that was our average frame sale. We were increasing our sales. We were selling higher end things. And again, it got them talking. The nice thing about the incentives is they're going to get something. It's a month-to-month basis. So they get the incentive right away. If you make it too long, you tend to burn out, or you lose momentum, or you lose juice. And by giving them weekly updates, there's a conversation about it. And I have enough goals in there that we should hit some of them, right? So that's what I've done in a nutshell. I'll recap this on a whole. What I suggest you do is find out the metrics that matter to you in your office. 5 to 10, right? We probably have about 5 metrics that impact the office, lens capture, the things I talked about. And then I have a few things that move the needle. Like when we sell our lutein supplement, that's our biggest margin. So I incentivize that. When we sell like year supplies or daily contact lenses, I'm incentivizing that because I'm trying to get more of those sales. And again, I'm trying to be better than the other doctor. She's trying to be better than me. It's based on percentages. So I'm obviously going to do more than her, but I still want to have a better percentage. She's doing the same with me. It's all friendly competition, but we hit marks that we haven't hit since she's been here. She did her best month ever. Her revenue per patient was the highest it's been because she was selling contact lenses, right? She was communicating with the optical staff when we go to check them out, trying to get that year supply sale. We're not a sales office, but this is the first time I've had a culture where we can actually talk about sales, things that are better for the business, that in the end of the day are better for the patient. Parkinson's law says if they have a year supply, they're going to use a year supply. If they have a 6-month supply, they're going to make that 6-month supply last a year. What's better for your patient, right? So better for the patient, better for the office, better for the staff. The scorecard matters. This is something that I really encourage you to implement into your office. If you have questions about how I did it, if I can be more descriptive, send me an email, send me a message. I love to talk about it, but this is what I've done, and this is how it directly impacted my bottom line. We had our best 2 months back to back, and we've slowly gotten better as we've tracked the numbers. So measure what you want to manage. And when you get those numbers, make sure you give feedback to the staff that they have an incentive to do better, to know what matters in your office, what moves the needle. Believe it or not, they want to be successful. Gamify it. You're going to win. That's what I have for you. We'll have more for you next week. Where has the time gone? We're to the closing thought of the episode, and today I will leave you with this thought. Control ego when you are winning. Control thoughts when you are losing. If you can do that, you can do anything. And that is the name of the game, my friends. That is the root. That is the foundation of you being a private practice owner. You're going to have good times when you just think, I am so good at this. This is so easy. Keep it coming. Followed up the next day, maybe the next hour with, how am I so bad at this? What's going on? Why do we have so many remakes? Why is everyone canceling? Why are people so angry? Why is my staff not showing up? Why are they bad at what they do? Right? As you can see, as I elaborate on this, more of those negative thoughts come into your mind than the positive ones. However, riding the roller coaster, knowing how to control your ego, to control your thoughts, you learn to master that, and that's where it gets fun. That's how you become a good private practice owner. I talk about this constantly, but I think it's something that has to be reiterated day in and day out because you are constantly going through that roller coaster of highs and lows, and those lows suck so bad. Like we had one of our best months, in February, but with half my staff sick and out, you sometimes wonder, like, what have I done? How do I need to hire more people? How do I make this work? Right? You're constantly just at your wit's end. Like, I'm doing everything I possibly can, and I can't it's just not working. Right? Well, you take a step back, you see where you were at, you see the end result, and you're like, oh no, we do got this. And that's what business is. Know this. Every other private practice going through the same thing, every other business going through the same thing. When you go into the restaurant, you're like, man, this service sucks. Where is everyone? The owner of that business, the manager of that business is like, we could be so much better if everyone would just show up. Or if I could just hire someone that would work for the wage that I want to pay. Right? They're experiencing it. Keep your mind right. Control your thoughts. You're going to be good at what you do. That's what I have for you. Dr. Lily out.